guys, this is Haley with Shift for our monthly What's App-ening talk. For anybody who may be new, these interviews are held every month with an app developer, and they're intended to be a resource on cutting-edge enabling technologies that are aimed at DSPs or family networks. So today we have Veronica. If you would like to introduce yourself and where you work.
Sure thing. My name is Veronica St. Cyr. I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships for Waypoint Interactive. For 4 years, I've overseen the go-to-market, implementation, ongoing utilization, and development of the Navigating Life mobile technology.
Thank you, Veronica, and thank you for being here today with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so in one sentence, would you just briefly describe your app?
Yeah, so Navigating Life is the first of its kind private social networking, communication, and mobile data collection platform built on fully compliant architecture and custom designed for programs that support adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Great, thank you. And how did you guys come up with the concept for this app?
That is a great question. I feel like a lot of ideas for apps come out of a solution to a really difficult challenge. So this one wasn't a shower idea. It was really like, oh my God, we have an immediate need for a technology like this. And this is something that we see across the IDD industry in general, is providers realizing there aren't modern tools built for the work that they do and having to build it themselves. So in that similar fashion, there was actually an IDD provider that had a group that spent most of their time in the community during a snowstorm. Where we are in New England, we get those. They lost contact with the group. Now, a technology couldn't have solved a human error or a challenge like that from ever happening. The person's phone had died, so technology wasn't going to matter anyways.
Right.
But after the group was found and everything was fine, they had this aha moment of, why isn't there an app or a tool to better communicate with staff out in the field? If you're back at the program, or even to keep track of where programs are in their day, especially when you have so many to keep track of. So Waypoint Interactive was really created as a collaboration of software development and technology expertise and provider experts. And as Waypoint Interactive, our main goal right now is just to develop and launch this Navigating Life technology, which has actually been available for almost a decade now, which is crazy, but we're only really starting to get the word out in, I'd say, the past 5 years with other agencies.
Okay, great. Thank you for that awesome description. You might have touched on this a little bit, but just briefly again, who exactly is this app designed for, and where can we find it if anybody watching is interested?
Yeah, great. So Navigating Life, first and foremost, is probably mostly for DSPs and families, but it's a lot broader than that. So how it really works too, which gives it some more insight on who benefits. Staff basically post photos, videos, check-ins, shift notes throughout the day to a closed private feed for a program. Very similar to apps you'll see in education. A lot of this is huge in preschools right now. Class Dojo, Bright Wheel is a big one that was just funded on Shark Tank, which is taking over because families now have an expectation for technology, which is something we're seeing even more with some of the younger families that come into IDD programs. So basically, our app is like taking all that great stuff, the best parts of Instagram, the best parts of texting, and the best parts of those transparency apps, and building a custom HIPAA compliant solution for IDD providers. So it's staff first and foremost, because they get to show off their hard work and take credit for the good stuff they're doing every single day that people just don't see. And they have a modern tool to do their job, which is something that you definitely hear a lot. People like working places where the company provides technology to make their job better. This is also huge for a lot of programs that have staff where English is not their first language, because you can take a photo a lot easier than you can, type or speak in a progress update. And that puts a lot of pressure on staff who maybe, English isn't their first language, to properly capture the nuance of how someone's doing in a program.
Yeah, for sure.
Families are the other really big piece of this. And I know you mentioned a big part of this series is for DSPs and for families, and it's both of those. So families are invited to the platform to follow along, almost like a private Instagram feed where they can like and comment, they can message the programs if they have a question. And again, it just builds transparency and trust, which we're seeing absolutely revolutionize the relationships that the providers who use this app have with their families.
Right.
And then from beyond there, just really quickly before I tell you how to find more of this info on your own, is clinicians also have the ability to set up staff to collect data right through the technology, which basically leads to more accurate data because you're not relying on the transference of paper into maybe an EHR. So clinicians love this.
Right.
And then anyone in leadership or QA, it's not very efficient, especially as programs are getting told to do more with less, to drive around and visit every single program. But if you can virtually visit and check in and see what's going on in a program, it allows QA teams to maybe identify where training's needed and mitigate risk before anything ever actually becomes a problem. And that last step is really leadership. They get to holistically look at how their agency is performing, who's using it, who are their most engaged families, and market their organization as a tech forward agency, which is becoming even more important amidst the staffing crisis.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyone who's looking for more information on this, I could talk all day, but I know this is a shorter series. Our website is navigatinglifeapp.org, and that includes all the information on everything we just talked about, including video resources and security information.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then do you by chance mind if we include your email in case anybody needs to reach out as well?
Absolutely. If anyone wants to talk about this or just talk about technology in general, or how would I get my staff to use this, definitely reach out to me via email, or you can even just message me on LinkedIn. I am so happy to talk about technology, and even if it's not navigating life with providers, because it's so critical.
Awesome. Thank you. And then does this app have any like associated fees or download fees?
So basically the way the licensing structure works is an agency just on the provider level licenses the technology based on the number of programs they want to bring on the platform. So it's very customized to, you want to start with a few, usually in a pilot, work out the kinks, and then use those folks in that pilot as champions to almost promote its use across broader programs in the organization. But it's free to the end user, it's free to families, and it's not based on how many users you have. So it allows agencies to create as large of a community as they need to.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to share about the app before we get going today?
I would just say if anyone is interested and there's like an inkling that maybe this is something you want to learn about, please, request a demo through our website, or again, reach out to me and just throw any questions our way. I think we're seeing that the future is not going to be in binders. Technology is not going away. It's ramping up even faster, sometimes even if that's scary. So I think taking that first bold step and looking at a tool like this is something that we're going to see a lot more of over the next 5 years, decade, and beyond. So please just reach out if you're curious.
Well, thank you so much, Veronica, for helping us out today with this.
Thank you, Haley. It's our pleasure. We love Shift.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.